Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show. We do this all the time during this awful quarantine, so you can enjoy your favorite comedians that perform at the world-famous Comedy Cellar. Joining us this evening, in no particular order, because they could be different on my screen than they are on yours, please welcome Erik Rivera. Erik Rivera has a show, live show, Wednesday night on YouTube. Is that correct, right? The Comedians of Entre Nos Alive. Did I pronounce that correct?
I've got a show every night because I'm trying to not kill myself, David. So,
I understand. Liz Miele is joining us today. Her first special, Self-Help Me, is out now. And she has a wonderful podcast called Two Non-Doctors, which I heard last night. Actually, it's really, anytime anybody has their parents on, I'm going to go with. That's funny every time.
Yay.
For me. And Graham K is joining us. He had his album was released earlier this year called Girlfriend Material. It's on your favorite streaming platforms. And he has a podcast called Autastic. Is that correct?
That is correct. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we are waiting on Jordan Carlos. As politically incorrect as it is to say now, last time I hosted, Tony Woods was late, and now Jordan Carlos. What does that say? I don't know. The two black guys that are on our show.
I do know that I can't comment on that.
No, you're not allowed to comment. I'm already
not with this haircut. This haircut does not allow me.
No, but I'm a middle-aged white man. I'm already doomed. So.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, here he comes. Jordan Carlos. Jordan Carlos is connected to his audio. Jordan Carlos, how are you? Jordan Carlos is the only person who's performing live on Wednesday, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, I am at a drive-in movie
Berkshires.
Mania. You guys jealous?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Esty too. Esty is joining us. What a special treat.
Hello,
Hi.
Esty. Oh,
Hi.
Erik.
I haven't seen you since I've been hosting.
Hi, Esty.
Oh my gosh, Graham K.
Hey, buddy.
Esty.
Well, hello everybody. Yes, and Jordan, you're performing in the Berkshires tomorrow or Wednesday?
Yeah, it's in
At a
immediate
drive-in?
in Berkshires. Yeah, it's a drive-in movie theater. It's the high watermark of my career. I'm very excited about it. I think this is true. I'm opening for Trolls 2, Trolls World Tour. So I'm very excited about that. Very excited about that.
My niece and nephew love those movies.
Wait,
so
is that true? I mean, are you opening for the movie? Is it a true drive-in theater?
Yeah. I will send it. I will send you the information. Can we share screens? I don't know. It's very true. I'm at a drive-in movie theater. This is what's become stand-up comedy. And I'm in it for the honks.
Are you there now? Are you early? Just checking out the.
No, I'm just in the back of my house. But I would be there. I'm really excited. You know, I've done one before. There's a comic, Jay Nog, who's doing these shows in parking lots around the city and stuff like that. So it's been really. I mean, it's been okay.
I saw Jim Florentine's one where people are honking and flashing their lights. Is that the way it's going to work for you?
Oh God, I hope.
I mean, but I'm saying that's a little awkward. Yeah. I guess. I mean,
is it car horn, laughter, lights, applause? Like, what is it? Is there an etiquette?
How does it work?
I don't know.
I swear to God, I had this one lady that did the windshield wipers with the spray, and she said I was crying.
Wow.
That was like.
So it's like car emojis. I love it.
Or either that, or she was turned on. I don't know.
Why rule out either?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Jordan,
I can't wait for us to get like a stigmatism from like the lights, and then we have to be like those drummers that wear earplugs.
yeah, for
Jordan,
sure.
you're in New York now. Liz, you're in New York still, right?
I'm in a closet. I'm in a closet in Brooklyn. You're welcome.
In Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And Jordan, you're in New York too because you're going to the Berkshires.
Yes.
I'm in New York.
I'm going to the Berkshires on Wednesday now.
Graham and Erik are in LA, and Esty's in Jersey. Is that right?
I'm in Brooklyn.
In Jersey.
Yeah. Who's in Brooklyn?
Me.
Graham
I'm in Brooklyn.
Erik, you're in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm the West Coast feed then. All right.
For some reason, that sounds like a better deal.
Erik, how is it in LA right now? I hear that the numbers are going up there.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing. I think with the last couple of weeks with protests and people being outdoors, and now people are getting a little more lax, we're seeing a spike. So
yeah.
That's too bad because I thought California was like excellent about starting, they were the first ones to get serious.
Yeah, but
No,
I think
the
people
South.
getting-
The
people
South
getting
got,
crazy.
you know, the South opened first, and now you have 24 states where the numbers are really soaring.
Yeah, I know. My sister just came back from Disney World yesterday. I want to punch her in the face.
Oh my
Wow.
Yeah, she went to Universal Studios. I'm like, what's the
Wow.
matter with you? They like Trump. So there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
What does this have to do with anything?
So I think if you don't like Trump, you wouldn't go to Disney World. You'd know, you'd
Really?
listen.
Oh, I would
I'd
go
like
to
to
Disney
think, I
World,
don't
just not right now.
That's right now. That's what I'm talking about. They just came back today.
I see. Okay.
That was like
No.
a
They went
weird
yesterday.
There's a
conspiracy.
lot of people that
I see
are
what you're
really
saying.
not Trump supporters that travel.
Well, that's true, but not to Disney World. This seems like a bad idea right now. Disney
Yeah.
World. That's all
Yes,
I'm
but
saying.
there's no lines. There's no lines. You can't
That's what
beat
she
that.
said. There were no lines. You had to sanitize during every ride. Before every ride, you were not allowed to go if you didn't use the sanitizer. And she said
Yeah.
everything was clean. It all makes sense, but still, and no lines. That is a plus.
I almost feel that way about the
I have
airport.
to. Dave, what is the background?
Oh,
Is
it's
that
my
like
apartment. No,
Seinfeld
it's
set?
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
But you don't know how many people think, like, boy, your apartment looks great. I'm like, thank you for not noticing
No,
the most iconic series. in
It's
Yeah.
it's way too close to Seinfeld set
Yeah, it is Seinfeld set.
with the stacks of cereal and all.
I just decided to make my apartment look exactly like his because I figured,
Yeah,
what
no,
the
it
hell?
looks great. It looks
I
great.
know it looks really clean. It's nice. People, yeah, Sarah Silverman. So she's like, "Wow, your apartment looks great," and she's been here multiple times. And she's like, your apartment looks amazing.
Can
I
we
think-
see your apartment?
No, it's disgusting. That's why I have to use the virtual background. It's really I've nowhere to make it look like I'm cool like that.
I do
that
like
it's
the idea
normal.
that it goes away and it's just like women kept in a closet. Like it's truly just images of me, just like no.
Just
I
a fun
know,
little
but
set.
Everybody else's looks good, especially having the background where it's actual outside. That's
I
exciting.
know.
Oh, this
Yeah.
guy, yeah, it's not bad. I got a little garden. It's
That's
Jordan,
really nice.
how are your kids doing?
they're doing good. We had a nice Father's Day. They made me waffles without telling anybody, and they almost burnt the kitchen down. But outside of that,
That's love. Arson is love.
yeah,
How old are they?
7 and 3.5. So
Oh
Three
my
and a half.
older one
God.
had
Should
one
not be
half,
using a
and the
waffle
younger
iron.
one pressed extra.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to them before anything horrible happened, and but I understood they were trying their best, and then they made me a couple of crudely drawn cards, and that was it. This little crayon cards, and
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I
Jordan,
look ridiculous.
I'm gonna have to have your kids talk to my kids. My kids did not attempt breakfast at all.
Is
Not
that
even-
even a,
I wouldn't let my grandson anywhere near breakfast, but he did. He made.
People-
He did make a crayon card for my son.
Oh,
But the last couple of days of school, the assignment was my father is cool because, and then you list all the things,
yeah.
and he's walking in through the door. And then we found a couple of pictures of them, and we printed and we put in a two-sided frame
Oh,
of
oh,
them.
that's nice.
That's cool. Yes.
That's nice.
That's really nice. It's supposed to, you were supposed to tell a story about something that's just really bad. I can't, does anybody, do kids still do breakfast in bed for the mothers anymore? Is that still a thing?
They do what?
Breakfast in bed?
isn't that for his mother for
Oh
Mother's
my
Day?
God.
Yeah, for Mother's Day.
I
Is that
can't
still
tell
a-
you how inconvenient that is.
Right, that's what I would think. I never want to eat in my bed.
You need a breakfast in bed once in your lifetime, and then
Yeah.
you'll never want it again. I
Yeah.
promise.
Yeah.
You have
Too
to change the
uncomfortable.
sheets. It's a house of cards. You can't drink anything because you're gonna spill it everywhere, and then there's crumbs everywhere. So
What's that?
it's
Yeah.
just like it's like this other chore you have to do.
Yeah, that's what they
Unless you
still
wanna-
show that on sitcoms all the time. And I'm like, is that
Yeah.
still a thing? I mean, I wouldn't do that
Yeah.
for my mother anymore, but we used to do it in the 70s, I guess.
I also think after quarantine, do you want anything in bed? Like,
No.
I just feel like I'm
Yeah.
kind of over being I feel like I've been serving myself in bed as I've just been like eating pizza alone every day. Was that too sad for you, Eric?
Sounds really happy.
What have you been doing all this time? I haven't seen you, obviously, but I mean, like, what have you been doing? Do you live alone?
I have 2 roommates, so
now
I'm in my boyfriend's closet right now because I'm at his place. But I have 2 roommates, and I kind of go back and forth. But I honestly have just been like running. I've been like working out a lot, but like not very well. Like just trying, because I'm just scared I'm going to injure myself, and then there's like nothing. If I injure myself, there's nothing to do. So I've just been trying to work out and write. And I read a book. Like, I feel
awesome.
It just feels like that question feels like at the end of
the rise of,
but you know what I mean? It feels like summer camp where they're like, what'd you do this summer? And you're like, I tried my best not to work. Like, I literally told my dad yesterday that I retired before he did. Like, I was done nothing.
It's true. I guess we're all kind of retired, but except for
You're doing better than me.
Tomorrow or Wednesday.
I read like one of my wife's books actually.
Ooh,
like,
what'd you read?
My wife has all these like, feminist books on the other. No. No. She has all these feminism books on her side of the bed,
Yeah.
So I like took one and read it.
Did you like learn how to balance your hormones or something? Like just something like you're like what to do when you hit menopause, and you're like, I'm ready. I've read everything.
Here's what it is. I don't know if you've heard about this, Liz Miele, but things are more expensive for women in this society.
No.
Yeah.
Did you learn about the pink tax? I'm so proud of you.
I don't know. Football equipment is pretty expensive.
Oh yeah, is that your point of view, Graham?
No,
on my
absolutely
gridiron.
right.
Yeah.
You know what? If you buy an equivalent product, men and women, women's are more expensive.
Yeah.
Why is that? Yeah.
Why?
So they just basically it's called the pink tax. They just know when they gear stuff towards women that it's, I don't know, that we're gonna buy it. I forget what the exact reason is, but we're like, it really is like 2 razors, and the pink razor is $4 and the guy razor is $2.
Yeah.
On top
They're
of the
both
fact
Mach
that
3s.
yeah, but I'm telling you, same amount of razors, everything, but they do that with everything. And then on top of it, like there's a lot of countries that are trying to get rid of like taxes on tampons because they're just like, it's not a luxury item. Like they're treating it like it's a necessity. So it's just, there's just a bunch of silly stuff where like most people don't realize that it's happening, but we make less money, we get less money that comes in, and then we're also spending more on stuff. But I always stole my dad's razors.
I think women spend more than men. I want to say they treat themselves. You know?
No, we're good to ourselves. I think
it's a therapy shopping many times, and it's true. I'm not complaining, and I don't want to be an activist or whatever, but that's a fact.
It's actually
but
funny.
In the end, yeah.
Oh, huh? I was just gonna say.
I was just gonna say. Yeah.
Sorry, I'll say this and then you can go. I found an old tweet, and it was from when I was auditioning for America's Got Talent, and I wrote something that was like, if I get to the finals, I can buy this expensive purse I wanted. And then after a couple of weeks, it looked like it wasn't going to happen. So then I was just like, oh, but I'm sad now, so I can still buy that purse I wanted.
Yeah.
Regardless if I got there or not, I was getting the purse. It didn't matter whether I made the show or not. I now deserve the purse.
And that's why most of the time we're marketing. Because they know that if we want something, we'll get it regardless to the price.
Yeah. Happy shopping or sad shopping, it's all shopping.
Yeah, I want to argue with you guys, but my wife has Amazon boxes coming in on a daily basis. So.
I do too. I just like getting deliveries. It's exciting, but they're all little things, like a razor, like you said, or toothpaste. Yeah, I just got vitamins the other day, which is sad because I got the Centrum Silver, which is really depressing.
What is that again?
It's not depressing. Stop it, David.
People over 50.
Believe me.
Okay.
Well, you don't want them in your house when the ladies come over.
When you have an option,
they know you're
getting
50.
older or not,
Okay.
Meanwhile, those chewable tablets are disgusting, so I had to buy out for some gummies instead, which are much more entertaining and tasty.
Yeah.
I hope it's doing its job.
God,
the vitamins, the multivitamins.
You're a real baby.
I just started taking them, so it's new, and I am a baby. That's why I like the gummies.
I signed up at the beginning of the quarantine for because my gym membership canceled itself, so I signed up for like an app that teaches you how to work out and it yells at you if you don't do it and everything. And it was like, $60 for 2 months. And day 3, I was doing it and I hurt my shoulder and can't go to the doctor because I'm going to get COVID if I go there. And I have not worked out in 2 months and I've never been fatter, but $60. So pretty sweet deal.
Not bad.
I lost
That's
a
a good
lot of
purchase.
weight.
You did?
A lot of weight.
That's good. I mean, I guess it
You
looks like
can't
it
tell.
goes.
You'll be surprised when you see me.
I can't only because we're
back from the
just
camera.
looking at the. But that sounded rude when I'm like, you did?
You can't tell off my face like this.
Congratulations. But no, I guess
great.
people are like 50-50. Some
That's
people
right.
have lost weight and most people have gained weight, I think, because it's just so easy to do.
My sister's been calling it the COVID-15. She's like, have you gained the COVID-15? I was like, I haven't put on real pants, so I don't know yet. Like, I haven't seen my friends and I haven't put on jeans. Like, I'll find out when I leave the house.
I put
No,
on a
I
couple
had
of
to-
shirts that were not fitting, but the ones that I would normally wear out at a club, and I hadn't, worn regular shirts in a long time. But I don't know whether I gained weight or whether now I'm washing them myself. I'm not bringing them to the dry cleaner, and whether I don't know how to wash them, they shrunk. So I'm still not sure.
You'll
Keep
find out
hope
soon.
alive. They did not
What?
shrink.
So I have to tell myself. What's the matter with you?
I like the idea that you hold it up
I
and it's just
love
like
you.
a
I
child's
love bugging
onesie.
you.
Yeah.
You know that. I love teasing you.
I know you do.
No, I lost a significant
That's
significant
fantastic.
amount.
What did you do though, Esty?
Yeah.
What's your secret?
You
Working
didn't
out?
stress about work anymore.
I got a scare, which now is okay because I was checked out of diabetes. So I cut out all carbs. I never had a
Uh-huh.
sweet tooth. And the weight just fell off. Just
Wow.
completely fell off.
That's crazy.
How did you know you had a
really
scare? You had
is.
to go to you had to go to a doctor during all this, or the hospital or
No,
anything?
well, I went for some blood work last week, and I love the way they handle it.
Hmm.
Sit in the car until they're ready to see you. You come, you isolated pretty much, and covered, and they are covered, whatever. And she just drew blood, and then I had another test, and only today she called me, the doctor, and everything is just like
Oh, congrats.
unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
great.
I've never
That's
seen
great.
things that and it's all weight related.
Yeah, losing weight seems to not cure but help diabetes a lot.
It helps. Yeah.
It's
Do you
gone.
think-
It's
do you
gone.
think-
She says
Oh, that's
it went
fantastic.
from like 800 to 400.
Esty,
Wow.
do you think
Wow.
it's
Gone.
Do you
It's
think-
gone.
that's amazing? Do you think it's the comedians that were the problem? Do you think
Yeah.
that's what really caused
Less
all
stress in her life. Yeah,
The only food, the delicious food, the only three.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's true. You're eating there every day. I had to go to the hospital during this. I just went for a a test at the city MD, and the doctor sent me to the hospital. He thought I was having a heart attack, so I had to go to the emergency room. But he read my EKG wrong. He was a moron. I mean, I know
read
what
the
he.
EKG wrong.
Yeah, well, that's why he works at the city MD and not a regular hospital, I guess. I don't know.
Do you get your
Oh my
money
God.
back?
They didn't charge me anything. They just
Oh,
said, you
good.
have to go to a hospital right now. You have to go to the emergency room. I know what he was talking about. It's like, apparently my heart runs backwards from everybody else. So, but he still should have known. I mean, it's a thing, I guess. They called my,
Who are you, Benjamin Button? What do you
Yeah,
mean? your
I-
heart runs backwards?
they called my primary care doctor. Like, oh no, he's a freak that way. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know. It goes backwards, but That's why I colored my hair today, so I could be younger.
Exact medical term your doctor told you? Yeah, heart runs backwards. Where you going?
Well, I guess he told it in ways I could understand.
It runs off the offbeat.
Doctor,
Very
But
Brazilian.
I went to the emergency room during this in around April at the Cornell place, and that was like a big hot spot, and then it was completely empty. By about mid-April or end of April, it was just empty. It was beautiful. I mean, everybody was really nice. I went right away. I didn't have to wait. It was like a situation that probably wouldn't happen. The doctor said he told me I was having a heart attack at the CMD. Really? Yeah. Right. But I wasn't. What the hell? What's going on here? Who's that?
Whoa, it's a wolf.
It's a beautiful.
Esty, look out behind you. That dog is trying to take over this show.
He's already more entertaining than all of us combined.
It's embarrassing.
He looks like a sleigh dog, like those.
It's a Pomsky. It's a cross of Pomeranian and Husky. And
those are my favorites.
More like a Husky, but he's smaller.
Liz, were you on the season? Were you on America's Got Talent with Tom Cotter in that season when he lost out to the Dog Act?
No, I was.
Yeah.
Maybe like 3 years.
Listen, that Dog Act was something else.
You're so right. What were you gonna say, Liz? I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, I love Tom, and in my mind, I think I'm always on the side of comedy, but when it comes to animals, you're gonna get America's heart. I don't know what to tell you.
I was all in on Tom, and I was like, he's gonna win, he's gonna do it, he's gonna be the first, and his set was amazing. And then that dog, the one first dog, came out in a car with its paw on the car, leaning out the window driving. I'm like, this contest is over. Oh my God. And I forgot that Tom was in it. I'm like, oh no, wait, I gotta vote for Tom.
I voted wrong. I mean, we put Michael Vick in jail for fighting dogs, but we literally have football players that have murdered people, and we're like, that's fine.
Yeah.
We are so in love with dogs and animals that
we put them in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, of course it was gonna.
Now listen, what he was doing, I guess it's a Southern thing, and a lot of people do that, but they're so cruel to those animals.
Yeah, I don't love it.
The animals have no say on the destiny, what they eat or how they treat it, and how they being abused.
I just can't believe Michael Vick got a second chance. He did the worst thing of all that. What he was doing. What was documented of what he was doing. So horrible. And then he went to the Jets, which is my favorite team. And I'm like, if he wins the Super Bowl, this is going to be a disaster. I'm going to have to like Michael Vick. This stinks.
It was the Jets. Don't worry. You're safe.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't that worried.
Buddy.
Did you hear that today
He went to second jail. Sorry.
Major League the Players Association gave the thumbs down on the deal of 60 games. So I don't think we're going to have baseball at all this year.
No, we shouldn't. And we should all boycott. Yeah. They're so horrible and greedy. It's awful what they're doing. Graham, you do a lot of sports stuff, right? You do
They don't. Listen, you never boycott a team or a game or whatever if you're a fan. The end of the point is that we forgive, we forget. There have been so many instances.
Selfish.
That's it. I don't want to, and I can't wait to see and watch a game.
I know what you mean, but it's so selfish of the players to do during this time when they could be bringing everyone joy.
Yeah.
They should just have all.
Listen, I don't think it's really the players; it's the union. You know what I mean? A lot of players want to play, but the unions just don't give in.
Well, I don't think they should, and they want to start basketball and hockey. I just think they should just forget everything until 2021. I mean, maybe football in September, but just, it's over. Just let's move on till next year and restart.
In Florida, the COVID is so, rising. So they were doing spring training here, both Mets and Yankees.
Yeah.
And now it just.
Well, in Philadelphia and Texas, they closed it down because they found cases. So they closed down spring training again.
Yeah. No, the Yankees and Mets, the spring training camps are in Florida. and they
normally
close.
Normally, yeah.
Right, but now
I
they're
want
gonna
them
do
to. I want all these sports people to play like those boring things in the Olympics, like when they like push a broom. Like what's that?
Oh,
Yeah, like
Curling,
I want to see like a big football player doing some kind of like weird self-distancing sport and getting like really into it. Like that would be like.
You're completely right, and it would make huge ratings because that golf
Yeah.
match between Tom Brady and Peyton Manning got huge ratings. So you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. People would totally watch. You know,
And
somebody
they would have like
they
would have like end game dances after they get their like little thing there. Like it would be so fun.
Yeah,
I think that's
from
the
Canada.
way to go.
It's called a stone.
Okay, sorry to offend your culture.
Yeah.
That's the
And
game.
the
I think I
sweepers get
could.
quite close. So.
That's how I think I could win a
Does
gold
look
medal
like
at
they're
this age.
sweeping though.
Ripper? Yeah.
When you look at them, they just,
They are.
That's the
They're
game I
called
figure
sweepers.
I could win a gold medal at this age is curling. I always look at that. I'm like, well, maybe there's still a chance I could be a sweeper.
Yeah.
You know?
It looks like AP bio teachers are out there playing that game. It's like really funny.
They're not the best
I have a
athletes.
chance.
That's they're not physical specimens, but
No, they're not.
they have accuracy. That's a skill.
Yeah, how do you get into that? Is there like a high school team for that, and then you go to college and like?
Oh no,
You
there's
just-
no education is involved in that choice.
You have to come from a town where there's no black people. That's the first qualification.
One,
And
you have to
then-
have been divorced. You have to be divorced.
Yeah, it helps
for sure, right?
helps to have a horrific divorce.
Yeah.
And another man living in the home that you paid for, and then
Yeah.
you're on your way.
You're definitely living in a basement.
Yeah.
That's the third criteria.
Oh my God.
Do not have any windows.
I just feel the older I get, I could do that or the third man in a bobsled. What's he doing? I could probably win a gold medal
No,
that way.
He's
You know what
keeping
you-
his friends warm.
David, you know what you have to do? You have to be the rower that does nothing. It's usually the shortest person on the team, and you're just the person that tells them to row. Yeah, whatever.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
the
know
guy that
words.
has the megaphone. That's my favorite job.
Yeah, just the one
Coxswain.
that yells. I feel like
Yeah.
every comedian could be the boat yeller. That's
You're
your
so
job.
right. Right.
I
They
feel
should
like
do
we're-
that. It would
Yeah,
boost ratings
coxswain.
again.
I got
I
recruited
see
to
for
be
you.
a cocktail. Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, it's really weird. It's like a bunch of tall, so I went to this school and all this 6-foot dudes were coming after me like, hey, come here, little man. You want to really weird. Really weird. I was like,
you're
what am I gonna do?
But you're not that short, Jordan. I thought it was for like
I
my
know,
size
but
people.
I think that's the gag.
I was,
Yeah.
I was about 120 pounds, so it was like
Oh,
perfect.
you're
I was
light. Yeah.
perfect. They're like, get that one, get him,
Get the little baby one.
Hey
You know,
there,
Lori
buddy.
Loughlin's
We've
daughter,
got
does
candy. Come
rowing.
over here.
That's why if you see a crew photo, it's just it's these, Yetis and then a tiny little
Yeah.
fun-sized Snicker bar dude and then Yetis again. It's so sad. But I'm glad I didn't do it.
Hey guys,
Anyway.
any one of you were marching and protesting and
I
involved
was,
in
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I went to
I
two.
was.
Yeah.
It's a demonstration, yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Attell and
Okay.
I got caught up in one, but that was
in-
it though.
Were you wearing a mask or what?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm watching it on TV. A lot of people did not.
Half and half.
I would say that in the protests that I've been to, and I've been to some big ones in Brooklyn, I've been to about 5 or 6, and I would say that 98% of people are wearing a mask.
Oh no way.
Yeah.
No
Oh yeah.
way.
I
There
swear.
was
I
no
swear.
social distancing because when I've been watching it around the clock on TV. I saw some of them. Second part of the protesting were wearing more masks, but in the beginning,
I saw half and half.
it was a free fall.
All I know is what I saw, and I
Yeah.
promise you it's what I saw. I
Yeah.
promise. Because
the ones
I'm
that-
very paranoid about getting it. I really don't want to get COVID, but I feel
You don't?
like
Yeah, what's the matter with you?
yeah, I'm
What?
weird. I'm a
We
weird
thought you were
guy.
cool.
Scared?
Yeah.
You scared of it, okay? Your lungs collapsing?
But you know what's
I
you
just
know
start
what's
smoking
cool?
cigarettes in the crowds, you know.
Da-dum, dum, da-da-dum.
The bad boy. I'm the bad boy of the protest. Anyway, but yeah.
I saw people giving them out. Like they had like goodie bags. Like if you wanted snacks, water,
cigarettes?
or a mask. No, masks.
Oh, no.
Like at the protest, there was
especially,
Yeah.
especially the first few days, the first week, it was, you know, with the looting, with the chaos and the cops and whatever. It just seemed like nobody cared.
Did you hear what happened
There
to
were
Attell
just no
when he was
masks,
going
and
to
there
visit
were,
his mother?
huh?
yeah.
Did you hear what happened to Dave Attell when he went to visit his mother in Long Island?
What?
He was very nervous he was going to get it in a protest. He was trying to get back to the city in time. And then he heard all this honking and he's like, oh crap, they're going to stop the traffic. I'm in the middle of a protest, but it was an 11-year-old's birthday. And they were just honking going by somebody's house. He's like, I almost shot you.
11-year-old's birthday.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, in all the protests that I've been a part of, now, mind you, I'm only going during the day, but I've never seen any violence. I've never seen, everyone's wearing a mask. People are handing out hand sanitizer and masks. People are closer than I would like, for sure. And I'm always off on the side or in the back. What I'll do is I'll go on time to a protest. If they say 7, I'm there at like 7. And then I hang out for like 45 minutes and I sort of cheer on the side and then I leave. And as I'm leaving, I see younger people coming.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I get it. I'm like the
30-year-old
dude in the back of a punk rock show with earplugs.
Yeah.
Protesting. That's my level.
Most of the problems were after sundown.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I do like
was
the
during
idea.
the curfew.
I was mad at the looters, and I'll tell you why. One, I wasn't invited,
Which
I thought was like, man, that sucks. And then 2, a lot of people were hitting up Macy's, you know, which I was like, in a crisis, New Yorkers still want a discount, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, just hit up Bergdorf.
Well,
like,
they were hitting
Neiman.
a lot of stores that were owned by minorities, and being closed for 3 months and losing so much money. Now they couldn't reopen. They had no stock. They had no, you know, it was
Black
really,
businesses. Yeah.
But the protesters, these guys were, you know, a crime of opportunity.
Yeah, but I think
with Macy's, how are you going to get up to that 7th floor in time to get out before the police come? I mean, that's a bad move.
Yeah. Those old wooden elevators.
Yeah.
Can't be safe.
And
it's just not a safe
you gotta
place
have
to live.
the elevator operator. You gotta have the elevator
No,
operator.
it was really painful to watch.
Oh yeah, no, it was awful.
I mean, it was awful. It was really awful. I honestly don't consider those people protesters, though.
They were not. They were
kids.
Absolutely not. They were criminals. They were taking advantage of a situation.
Yeah.
The real protesters were not looting.
You're always gonna have bad actors. You're gonna have like people that. Yeah. Please.
My sister went to a protest in LA, and this is what it sounds like. What happened to her is what happened to a lot of people. So she was in this protest, maybe like say 4 or 5 hours, and then when it was getting later, it split. So one went this direction, the other went that direction. You don't really understand why, so you just kind of pick a street you like. So she went to the right, and then she found out later that night, because she only stayed an extra hour after that. She found out later that night that everybody that went to the left, it started getting crazy and they started looting, and and things start like, and so what I've been hearing is that it's protesting, it's peaceful. The whole thing is to educate people and let people know. And then at some point you don't really know who the leaders are. And then looters will kind of come in towards the end, and then they kind of take over. And then all of a sudden protesters are kind of shocked that like all of a sudden the mission has changed. And I do think it's for like, I've only been to 2, but they've been peaceful. They've been thoughtful. I mean, all the stuff that's happened in a park is, I mean, honestly heartbreaking, where they're truly just over and over talking about these eerily similar stories about people being killed by the police. But when we marched, I mean, I don't stay later than 8. Like for me, I am scared to get involved in that kind of situation. So my bedtime has been 8 after them.
You know,
but
I'm sorry.
It feels like it's later in the day.
In the village, from the Washington Square Park and then going up to Broadway and Soho, it was unbelievable. It was so bad.
Did you drive and see it, Esty?
No, Lynn Kaplan lives there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw her the other day walking around.
She just had to look out the window. You know,
That's scary.
It was very scary.
Yeah, that's what
It's
I'm
still
saying.
going on, but now it's much more organized and purpose. You know.
Are there still looting? You don't hear about it.
No, I mean,
I think people put up, you know, the wooden walls
they
or something. Because I went up Fifth Avenue right after it happened, and everything was boarded up as if there was like a hurricane coming.
At the Barclays Center, at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, there's a Chick-fil-A and there's a Shake Shack. Shake Shack completely boarded up. Chick-fil-A line out the door doing booming business. And I have to say, I have a lot more respect for Chick-fil-A. I was pretty gangster. They were just like,
and they don't even like gay people.
that happened. I'm out in Burbank, and they did a protest, and they boarded everything up. And I took my son to go see it because he's at that age 7 when he starts asking questions. And I was like, oh, this would be a good time for him to see what's happening. And I did feel safe because everything was boarded up and it was very peaceful. But yeah, very little looting.
I think there's there's a lot of like, you could do a whole sociological, examination of why people loot and things like that, and why people, some people say they burn down their own neighborhood, right? So, yeah. But what I heard, this really great video, this lady, she was in Minneapolis. She said, there's nothing funny about it. What she said was that they don't own any of that. They don't actually own any of that. And so they feel as though if you have no franchise, if you as someone that, I don't own a brick and mortar business. I don't own one, but if I did, I would feel a certain type of way if somebody came and burned it out. But when you don't, and you feel disenfranchised and you don't feel like you own anything, it's the small things like that I think what she was saying was, it's not our target. It's not my Eckarts. It's not my this. It's not my that. So I saw
interviews with people that own stores or franchise or whatever, and they are devastated.
Of course.
They were absolutely devastated. And guess what? In that neighborhood, you're not going to have a store if you do that.
Well, you probably know half of the people that were looting you, actually.
It's a vicious cycle. Then you're going to cry that, oh, my neighborhood doesn't have a good Nike store. Hey, do you see everybody jumping out the window with the Nike shoes?
Yeah. No, I feel you. I understand that side of the argument. I will say this. What's been on TV lately has been great in some ways, really researching the past. And there was this one thing on PBS that said that where the sociologist said, if you look at the Chicago race riots of 1919, the Harlem race riots of 1945, and the riots right after Dr. King was killed, all the reports say the same exact thing, that the people did not feel as though they had an ownership in their neighborhoods. And that's crazy because you're talking about 2020 to 1919. So that's 100 years of the same thing. And I completely get it from the point of view of senselessness, right? But I think that there is also hopelessness, and weighing those two, it's why people may do what they do. I mean, I'm not going to drop a mic or something. I'm just
Carlos,
saying.
I think that this is excusing a criminal behavior of people that are criminals. They look for the opportunity like this and they pounce on it.
But you also have, But Esty, you also have, that's what they're fighting back for as well. I mean, you have literally cops killing people in cold blood. Like, I think it's also
this is two different issues. That we're talking about two different issues. There is a crime of opportunity, and that's what happened there. People that are not criminals did not jump into the stores, broke windows, and stole stuff. people that really care about the issues did not do that.
The big issue is, what exactly are you watching on TV that we can see behind you? I need to know.
Me? You?
No, Esty.
I don't know. It's
Looters on loop.
I have no idea. It's CBS, whatever that is.
Oh.
But Esther, you're right. You're totally right in this respect, which is optics are everything, right? Optics are everything.
Yeah.
You can lose the argument. You can lose the argument with people. If, like, you know, Dr. King advocated for nonviolence, right? He advocated for nonviolence. People will say that all the time, but in the end, he was met with violence and he died. But what he had was the respectability politics of, you know, showing up in a suit and tie and things like that, showing that he was a man, right, or a human.
Right.
So,
right.
So when people, because we're a visual culture, if people are comfortable at home and watching this, what they want to do is they want to sympathize for your plight. So I understand what you're saying, and that runs counter to that can then taint people's opinion or leave a bad taste in your mouth about whatever you say.
I just think that every time there is something like this going on, there will be an element of people that are going to come in, take advantage of the chaos.
Sure.
And do what these guys did. I do not believe that these guys, I might be wrong, but I don't believe that they were protesters. I don't think that they were showing up to support the cause. They were showing up because they knew there was chaos and they can enrich themselves.
What do you think the average age was of a looter?
Oh, I think they were kids.
They're kids. They've never owned anything in their life. They've never owned anything in their life. They've never had power in their life. So they don't know what it's like to take something away.
No,
I'm not excusing. I'm just explaining what they're thinking. I don't agree with them. Older people aren't doing it because they're wiser. They're smarter.
But everybody does it.
But look, in every stage of life, there are things that we need to do as children, going to school. There are some brilliant people that come from complete poverty, but they work, they went to school at night, they found a way. They found a way. If you give kids like this the opportunity not to do that, they're not gonna better themselves. It's always been and it always will be. It's not the society fault, because a lot of times when you hand opportunities like that, they don't take them. Do you know what I mean? It always drives you the wrong way as a responsible society that we excuse bad behavior.
Well,
somehow it's our fault that they are misbehaving.
I'll give you an example though. Like when I was, so remember when the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl a couple years back?
Right.
And Philadelphia commenced to tear Philadelphia apart.
Right.
And what people said, that was in victory, right? So
okay, 1 second.
He's just making this huge point. What's the matter with you? Why do you got so many people coming over? It's a pandemic. You're not supposed to have anybody over. Why didn't that dog bark in advance that somebody was at the door?
You tell DoorDash.
Somebody's
you believe they put
some churros? I don't know what the fuck. Like, just
I love that Esty just paused us. She was like,
she pressed the button.
By the way,
that is power. That is power.
Can we adopt a doorbell for presidential debates? Can you hold that thought? I gotta.
Sorry. We're gonna edit this out.
I think that'd be great for cable news. That'd be great for cable news. Just like I gotta answer.
Would be.
Sorry.
I was just thinking about that big statue of Nick Foles in Philadelphia. They probably want to knock that down now.
What did he do?
Oh, sure.
Well, because he left.
I'm kidding.
And
he owns slaves. He should have done that.
No,
when
Nick
did
Foles.
when did he?
No, it's bad for Carson Wentz. It must be the worst day in the world when he goes to work every day, and they're like, I can't believe they put a statue of that guy up instead of me.
Oh, sure.
It's a football.
See, now you see the power of statues. You know.
Yes.
I was
The
actually
only one
writing the other.
the Rocky one.
I was writing today. I think it's been the worst year for statues. Everybody's complaining, but I think this has been statues first. This has been their worst year. All the other years, it's always one that gets pulled down in like some kind of dictatorship, and this has been a bad year for statues.
I don't know. I used to live in. I worked in Hungary for a year, like 12 years ago, and they had this park in Budapest with all of the old communist statues. They tore them all down, and then they just put them in a park.
Really?
And you could go, look at these, like, which, these are statues that are commemorating.
It's kind of a brilliant idea.
Horrible atrocities, just so many people, millions and millions and millions of people
like
died
a museum almost. Yeah. Esty, how can you guys go on? Who was at the door? I'm dying.
Neighbor, he wanted to talk to my son. And
doesn't he know that you do a show every day from 8:30 to 9:30? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
I put a sign up when I'm at my apartment. I have a little sign that says podcasting or recording. So my
outside
roommate
your closet?
outside my closet. This is in my apartment. But I want Esty to have, I want her to have like I'm podcasting, like a little sign for her neighbors.
Yeah. Clearly.
No, I was only going to. Oh, please.
No, say Jordan.
I was only
you're
going to
really
say
causing
that.
a lot of problems. I'm going to have to let you go.
I think we just got to keep.
I'm going to say bye. I have to deal with this and this. So I'm going to say.
The dog will be fires to be put out.
I was just kidding.
No.
No, you kicked her off.
Jordan, what did you do?
What's going on right now?
I was only going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, bye, Esty. Bye, Snowflake.
Bye, Esty.
Great to see you, Esty.
Same here.
Bye.
Just go like this. Remember, that's right.
Yeah, pause. I want to hear your story, Jordan.
What we said.
You can't hear this, but I remember. Okay, so two things. We all know about
just
the
all log
Philadelphia
off.
Eagles. Yeah, we just all log off. It's okay. I'll tell myself. I love speaking to myself. So when I was in college, my friend went to the University of New Hampshire in Keene. And he was like, dude, you got to come up to this fucking pumpkin festival, man. And I was like, all right. So me and my friends get in the car. We go to the Keene Pumpkin Festival. All right. I'll never forget this. And it was, I'm going to tell you, Keene, New Hampshire.
I'm already nervous for you.
I'm going to let you guess how many people of color live in Keene. The number is 0. Okay. And what happened at the Pumpkin Festival was outrageous. Kids lost their minds, smashed pumpkins, lit cars on fire, and the town of Keene was under siege for about 48 hours, maybe 36 to 48 hours. They rolled out Bearcats. The town now owns a Bearcat. If you don't know what a Bearcat is, that is like what people use in Afghanistan to roll through towns. Like those are heavy armored personnel. So because of this, the cops have responded that way because Keene got lit as fuck. And like it wasn't black kids or anything like that. And all I did on the ride home was joke with my friends. I was like, must be the culture. I think it's their music. So
it's all that John Denver. That's what it is.
It's all that John. There you have it. Right.
Wow.
I remember that.
How does New Hampshire even have one of those?
They need one. The Pumpkin Fest. Are you crazy?
That's so crazy.
Let's look it up, man.
As someone who's married to a white woman, Jordan, I'm gonna tell you, pumpkin spice is real. Don't mess.
Yeah. It's crazy.
The governor of New Hampshire is like, he's like the guy in Jaws. He's like, now let me tell you, Pumpkin Fest is going on and scheduled, or else. We have tourists from all over the world.
I would fight somebody for an apple cider donut. Like seriously, like seasonally, that's my like. I've definitely pushed down a child to be like, is that fresh apple cider donuts?
There's a place in Jersey I go, Battleview Orchards. I get them all the time there. It's fantastic. I totally am with you on that. They're so good.
I've had them in Lancaster.
I'm gonna do a lot of apple picking. I'm married to a white, and I do a lot of apple picking, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, see, you get it.
I wanted
but
to
that doesn't
say
mean
that.
violence. It doesn't mean
No,
violence,
that's-
Jordan.
Yeah,
violence.
kids.
It doesn't mean violence.
Any of you
No, I
kids
just want to
watching?
say that. I just think that there's the Americans rage, you know, and so we create a myth about what rage is, you know, sanctioned. So there's sanction rage, which is like baseball, or if you win the World Series, then you can blow off steam and things like that. That's just kids being kids. Or if your sports team wins, then, which if the crowd usually has a preponderance of being young white people, you are allowed to burn your city down. However, if you you know, with if you are poor and of color, then there's a question to the pathology of it all. What is wrong with these people? You know, like But you know what? Property's still getting damaged, and Toyota Camrys are getting fucking burned, man. And so that I feel like there's a blind spot, obviously, and you know, I say this with love, and Essie's no longer on the call, but there's a blind spot for if the behavior is undertaken by people of color rather than if people are white and doing it. And what I saw in Keene was a mob. I saw a reptilian mob. Like, no, I wasn't worried for my safety. I knew they weren't turning on me, but they're
turning on pumpkins.
Well, that would be next. You know, that's
Why were
that's
they
one of those
so
things where you next.
Well, I didn't speak up for the pumpkins. You know, the pumpkins got
And then what came next? The gourds. And then we lost the gourds.
Yeah.
The gourds, and I said nothing. You know.
Was it not so much? Was it like it's a small town in America? Was it not pumpkin spice? It might have been like crystal meth, maybe.
You know, I mean, I'd hate to use the pathology of drugs with these people, but you know, there was.
Jordan, you know, you're so right about perception and things like that, because when you just mentioned that Martin Luther King used to wear a suit, I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, and he used the suit as a right, you know, like a reason. He wore it on purpose. And it's funny because I say to myself, yeah, that guy was all right because he wore a suit. Like I was, you know, as a little kid, I'm like, yeah, he seems okay. I mean, you know, I was taught.
He made all his protesters dress the
Grew up
same
in
way.
Jersey.
So when they got sprayed with hoses or attacked by dogs, it was a dog attacking like a businessman or a woman looking like she's going to church or whatever.
I never thought about it like that before, though. It's interesting you point that out. I don't know why it never occurred to me, but I'm like, yeah, what a good statement. I guess that he knew people might perceive him. Maybe he'll get 25% more white people on board or something if he dress a certain way.
Well, it's just the original Black Lives Matter is you show that you're a person. And because back then
I never thought about that.
Yeah. Well, it works so seamlessly. You weren't really supposed to notice. That's the point of it. That's the power of the image, and he understood and he captured that, you know? So you were supposed to just sympathize and empathize and see yourself in his, you know, his situation, basically.
Now
so
thinking about how hot it must have been, and he was in like a suit, I have even more empathy. Like I already had Martin Luther King. Yeah, you just like took my empathy to a next level. I'm like, oh man, you know, he was like in a hot hotel room being like, I don't want to put on a jacket.
And those suits didn't breathe at all back then either. They didn't make good suits for that kind of weather. I've been to weddings like that, and it's horrible. You know?
Archie, like, dude, like you're saying, Juskow, I put on a suit and I'm uncomfortable the whole way there.
Yeah,
get out of it. This
like Rodney Dangerfield in that thing, right?
well, you knew that there'd be a shower at the end of it, forced shower, but you know, there was a little reprieve. So
that's good. That's pretty good.
Before we go, it's important that we bring up the big topic everybody's been talking about today. And Liz, I know you'll understand, and I'm kind of glad Estee's gone. There's a Colorado State University study that happened today that said men who have cats in their profiles get less dates. I mean, what is that about, Liz? I'm sure you can understand. Is it all girls or just you that appreciates cats? I mean, what are we going to do? I have a cat in my profile, please.
I see a cat in a man's profile. I look at somebody that understands how to handle hair, is not afraid to handle a bad mood, can take a bite. Like, I just see a man that's ready to date. That's what I see.
See, this is good. You should call them up because the study says you are the only one.
David,
a man who knows how to lock a woman in a bathroom.
knows how to get peed on, you know.
Yeah.
Apparently, you didn't watch Tiger King. A lot of kings, a lot of action right there.
Oh,
a lot of
Yeah.
So Exotic was getting busy.
Yeah, he had so many husbands.
Oh yeah, that was
That's
yeah,
true.
right.
Eric,
I didn't even know when I started watching. I didn't know he was gay, and I'm like, wait, he's also gay? I mean, it's just like, it seemed like it added on. I don't know.
For a guy who has a lot of
Yeah,
pussy, you sure got a lot of cock. I'll tell you that.
Isn't that funny that it was so
Graham,
popular
go.
like a month ago,
Get
and then when you mentioned, I'm like, oh right, Tiger King.
It was a perfect binge watch because the whole
It was a
time
good distraction.
you needed to feel like better than somebody, and you needed scandal, but scandal that didn't involve you. And that's
Right.
And now with like all the white guilt that I have right now, I'm like, we just need another Tiger King. I need to feel better than somebody. I am a walking Karen right now, and I feel like everyone hates me. I need a Tiger King.
Is that why you're in the closet? You just can't even.
My boyfriend was just like, stop telling me what to do, and I was like, okay.
Go to your timeout closet. All right.
Yeah.
You go podcast
Behavior.
in your closet.
You are wearing those Karen pigtails.
I am.
You do have it going on.
I actually want to talk to all of your managers.
Please, I'm doing a drive-in like I told you.
That guy who was bird watching in the park, my friend is also an avid bird watcher, so he knew him really well. So he was like, he's the sweetest guy. Like everybody knows him. It's like the nicest, sweetest guy ever.
He's a bird watcher.
Yeah, he's a bird watcher.
I'm the rock and roll bird watcher.
Meanwhile, now he's coming out and saying the cops need to do a better job at keeping the dogs on leash at bird watching. I'm like, I think you go and maybe they don't have to worry about that so much.
Yeah.
Maybe they, we can let that go for a little bit.
Did it blow your mind / confuse you that they had the same last name?
Isn't that weird? Cooper, right?
Yeah, it was Amy Cooper, and then what was his name?
Since her family owned his family.
Oh, you tell
I mean, that's sort of what happened.
Is there another closet to go into, Liz? That's smaller than that closet?
The best part about that was
the
best part about that was on the news. Like when it first came out, the articles would be like, no relation.
Yeah.
Always right.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think she's not trying to. Whatever.
I do like that case though, Cooper versus Cooper. Like,
Cooper.
it just.
Oh, that's great.
And my nephew's name is Cooper, so it's gonna be like so just confusing. Where you're like, it's a first name, it's a last name, it's a black guy, it's a white lady. Everybody's name is Cooper.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to see more of that lady. I mean, I really hope bad things happen to her. Isn't that horrible? But
they took her dog away. Like, let's be honest. Like,
I don't know. I heard. Did they take it away, or did she just give it away? Or did they take it away?
They took it away because in the video she's almost hanging that poor dog.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is people are like, she's evil. Like she was like both Michael Vick and a Karen all at the same time in that video, and people could not handle it. They could not handle it.
I think
Karen,
that's when they knew. That's when white people knew Black Lives Matter, when she started hanging a dog.
When it seemed to start.
But Karens attack Karens. That's the one thing nobody talks about. Karens attack Karens. Like, you can Karen another Karen.
Karen on Karen crime? Is that what you're saying?
Karen on Karen crime. Yes, that's it. It's called
Jordan. Jordan's been done some of the most impressive. Oh, geez, white guys, faces.
Just disassociating.
When I did my Chick-fil-A comment, I looked directly at your square, and you were just giving the exact opposite look I was hoping for, and I deserved it. And I deserved it.
Third base coach.
Yeah. Graham, no, don't. I know where you're going. Don't do it.
Oh, it's like, come home.
Yeah.
No, I was only gonna say that what I think people have not seen in that video or not netted was that Chris Cooper actually out Karen to Karen. He was telling her that's why she activated.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because he was policing her behavior.
Yeah. And that's what she does.
Yeah, that's my job. I work that job. What the fuck?
You know her like little frenemy group. You know how like every woman has a couple of friends. You know they read the article and they're like, "Oh, we learned years ago we don't tell Amy what to do." Oh, he just didn't know.
She was like trying to be like an ultra set Karen, and she just was not prepared for a gay man's sass to come back at her. He was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's like,
I just always think about what his life would be like if he didn't have that video, if he didn't have the camera. He would be ruined. You know, nobody
well, it would be like it was when like I was a teenager, like watching comedy specials from black comics, and they'd be like, we're scared of police, and I'd be like, yeah, I bet you are. But then you don't, you know, and then you see it and you're like, shit. You know, it just, I don't know. I was racist until last month, I guess.
So really,
I was brought up in Jersey, so please.
Yeah.
So really, the hero is whoever put a camera on a phone. Was that Steve Jobs?
So.
No, it was this guy who died 2 years ago. I don't know why I know this.
Yeah, why do you know this?
I remember his obituary. It was like his obituary. It's like the guy who invented the camera phone.
You know, it's funny when years
IBM guy.
in like the 80s, I remember thinking like I wanted to be a reporter. And I was like, geez, if only I, you know, always had a camera with me, I could take pictures of things, you know, that happen that I see. I could leave it in my car and always have it. But, you know, nobody would leave a camera in their car. But then I was like, well, maybe I could leave disposable cameras in the car. And still, you know, you'd be fumbling with it and it just didn't, I mean, until they had it on the phone.
Yeah, just cranking.
And then, of course, you don't even know whether you took it. Right. You couldn't even see. So it's like, it's kind of all of this technology is kind of a dream come true for me. I mean, the fact that, I mean, this is the perfect time to have a pandemic. You can watch anything that's ever been made on TV and you can listen to any song ever and play video games. It's a dream come true.
This is a much better pandemic than the 1919 pandemic.
That's
what I've heard.
Yeah.
Let's talk top pandemics.
Yeah. Well, you can play Xbox. Back then, you had to be like, I guess I'll work this loom.
I think the Black Plague was pretty dope, actually.
No, it was a good one. It was a good one. Great name. Best name. Number one name. It's a very dope name.
A little racial, but that's okay. You know, it's fine. Thought to be spread by bad bodily humors. Oh, those people are dead.
Bodily humors. That's great.
Fucking wash, you dirtbags.
Yeah. You know, we need more slugs on our temples.
Yes.
I think we have to wrap up for today. I haven't heard from Mike, but I'm sure that's about time. He usually lets me know.
Yeah, the chat's not working.
I hope
just to wrap up.
Going to be okay. I know Jordan has a show on Wednesday. You have a live show. Erik has a YouTube show on Wednesday. What about you, Liz? What do you have going on? I know nobody has any gigs. I saw that your gigs are postponed. Are you really planning on doing live shows in August?
I don't know. I mean, I just canceled everything in July, and then I'm sure August is going to get moved. But I kind of just wait until the next, like the month before, and then I talk to people. I have no idea. Honestly, knows, right? I really don't know. But I'm doing my first outdoor live gig. Eastville is doing like a pop-up gig across the street from the club outside.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, but that's on Saturday. So I'm going to tell jokes for 15 minutes to humans. Pretty excited.
That's amazing. I'm so jealous.
Thank you so much. I haven't worn makeup in 3 months, and I was just like, I get to paint. I've been picking out my outfit every day. I was like, no, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna pick out something different.
Is it the same excitement as like the first day of school? What am I gonna wear?
I know. Like I wanted to text. Like I saw Josh Johnson was gonna be on it. I was gonna be like, oh my god, how are you doing your hair? I'm just like, I don't know. We should match.
What about you, Graham? What are you doing?
Nothing.
Yeah. I hear you.
I'm what am I doing? I'm making funny videos on my Instagram at Instagram K. Thank you very much, Liz. I appreciate that.
Yes, I enjoy all of them.
Yeah. It's my name with the Insta in front of it.
I love that Instagram K. Yeah. That's really funny.
Yeah.
And Erik, you still have the best haircut. I mean, I'm so jealous. It's like, first you have beautiful hair, but that's a great cut. And I can't believe you got it.
Look at those beautiful teeth, for God's sakes. They're so white.
I was going to say something about his eyebrows. Perfect eyebrows.
Yeah, he looks perfect.
Lord.
Movie that you made?
You have a movie out,
Did you make
Erik? That's what Jordan's saying?
No, I don't have a movie. I do have a special out on HBO right now, HBO Max.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
What's it called? That was on the HBO Latino show, and now it's on HBO Max, right?
Yeah, it's on all HBO platforms.
I started watching HBO
Congrats.
Max because I like that Anna Kendrick show. Well, I don't like the show, but I like her. I'm attracted to her,
Yeah.
so I watched it. I'm a little creepy that way.
You
Plus,
came
I watched
clean.
the new Looney Tunes shows, and they're horrible. They keep saying they bought the old back, but no, it's not good. Looney
Right.
Tunes,
Oh, the old,
Yeah.
it's not working. No, the new
Old-
one.
No, old school Looney Tunes is so much better.
Exactly, but
They-
they said they got it right, so I'm dying for you guys to see it and say if I'm crazy, but I'm not. They're bad.
I'm sure you're. Because they don't have sex jokes. My first ever sex joke was Foghorn Langhorn was tired of having that the skinny chicken hit on him all the time, and he turned to the camera and he goes, "That girl reminds me of the highway between Fort Worth and Dallas. No curves." I was like, it's for kids.
Yeah.
I tell you something. I lived in Dallas. That's true. That's
Just
He
was
goes like
fact
this,
check.
no curves. With his little feathers.
But anyway, thank you everybody for joining us on the Comedy Cellar Nightly, and we will see you tomorrow and every night until this horrible thing is over at 8:30, until you can come see us all live at the Comedy Cellar in the awesome West Village of New York City. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, thanks
Good
for
night.
having us.